What's going on, YouTube family? Today we're going to talk about something that's been absolutely dominating the headlines all across the world, the LA fires. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people lost their homes, their businesses, their possessions, and some people actually lost their lives. So it's definitely a sad story. Prayers and thoughts out to you guys, but I want to talk about the after effects because after all this stuff has died down, you're going to hear this terminology used over and over again: not covered, denied, out of coverage. And this is something that I know it's going to break a lot of families' hearts, and we're just waiting for it because unfortunately, just like the floods and the hurricanes that happened on the East Coast just a few months ago, there are families still fighting with trying to chase their money from the insurance companies. And I'm going to talk about how this payout is going to be one of the biggest of all time, which is not only going to affect California insurance, but affect everybody's insurance across the United States. So what's currently happening in LA is absolutely mind-blowing. We have people, like I said, losing all their homes and valuables. We have looters going in there stealing stuff. You have homeless people running around trying to start fires in other neighborhoods. And then on top of that, you have people like Gavin Newsom and what's that mayor, Karen something? Absolute ass clowns, not doing anything, not taking any accountability, placing the blame on everybody else. Now, it takes a lot for me to get upset, but I believe these two idiots need to get launched out of office. I mean, I literally will go move to California just so I can vote against these clowns because people don't deserve that. That is the worst type of leadership I've ever seen. And like I said, it takes a lot for me to want to speak out against anything, I guess, negative or even political. But these two people just need to be ran out of town. But with that said, we saw a lot of good out of other people helping each other, communities coming together, other countries flying over to help people in need, which is a great thing to see. Now, I watched this clip from 60 Minutes where this gentleman, just found out that his whole house was burnt down. He lost all of his possessions, all of his belongings, all of his memories. When he finally was able to go back to his community, he saw that it was gone. There was no community. His whole neighborhood was basically just ash. And the saddest part of it all is when he made it back, he stumbled across his sister's home, which I guess was just a few doors down, and found out that she never made it out of the fire and she passed. Now, stopping 100% of forest fires is never going to happen, but there was a lot that could have been done to stop the spread and to get stuff prepared. And that's what I'm really upset about. And this is just the tip of the iceberg because as these people start to rebuild their lives, this is where the true, I guess, heartache is going to come from because all these people are going to get denied multiple claims. If you guys remember, in 2019, there was that other forest fire and people were literally screaming from the hilltops that they had insurance, they paid it all the time, and not only did they not want to cover their houses, their property, and certain other things, once people actually got the checks to do it, which were about a year to 2 years later, the city or the government prevented them from building homes on their current property because it wasn't up to code. This property now should be used for something else. And like I said, this is what we're going to be talking about today and how it's going to affect everybody across the United States. So the first thing is California has a very unique law that basically helps its people. It tells them that the insurance companies cannot gouge you on insurance prices and they can only do small increases. But the downfall at that is if they don't do it fast enough, and if you guys remember, I did a video like this back in 2019, if they can't raise the premiums to offset their risk and losses, they are gonna leave the state. Tons of people chimed in my comment section, said I was full of crap, they're never gonna leave. And sure enough, what happened after those fires? A lot of companies in 2020, 2021, and 2022 left the state. They can't afford to take that much losses without raising premiums a significant amount of money. Now, the reason why it was offset and some of the companies are staying there is because they're not just charging California people more money, they're charging everybody across the United States more money. They're basically pulling this money out and balancing it between its whole portfolio. And this is why you've noticed if you've had no accidents, no claims, no tickets, your insurance magically increased. And not even a little bit. Most people said they noticed an increase in the last 4 years between 20 and 45%. I'm one of the people where my insurance actually tripled. I have no accidents, no claims, no nothing, but yet Progressive charged me anywhere from $286 when I bought my Audi R8 brand new. And then when I sold it last year, it was around $1,000 a month. Now, I don't know how it justified from there to there. I know after the pandemic was over, they said there's more people on the road, so they increased it and it went up to $500. And I was okay with that. That's a $200,000 car, paying $500 a month, I can justify. But when they raised it to $1,000 a month, I started scratching my head like, what's going on? And they would never give me a clear answer. And as I started talking to more and more people, what they were doing was offsetting for a lot of the stuff they saw in California. The increased accidents, the increased stolen cars. As you guys know, the Kia boys pretty much took over the internet the last 4 years. On top of that, do you remember how many natural disasters we had last year and how many floods, hurricanes, hail damage, fires, everything that pretty much engulfed the United States? It was just one after the other. So we throw that on there as well, and you're talking massive amounts of loss. Now, supposedly the estimates for this new fire, I don't know if it's real or not, but they said it was going to be over $10 billion, which is crazy. And I know that it's going to go up even higher once they're actually assessing the damage. Who is going to eat this bill? It's not going to be California, because remember, they have a law that protects them from raising their rates. But all the California companies are basically, or all the insurance companies are going to leave California. So that's going to leave it to basically everybody else in the United States. Now, I live in Las Vegas, and unfortunately, every time something happens bad in California, our rates will go up even higher. So just be prepared. After they start settling the claims there in California, don't be surprised if your insurance goes up at least 10 to 20%. And that is unfortunately only the tip of the iceberg. Once the claims start to come in, it is the insurance company's job to figure out how to deny this claim or push the blame off to somebody else. If you have a car that accidentally caught fire in your driveway, first, they're going to tell you to call your car insurance. Then your car insurance is going to tell you to call your homeowner's insurance. Then your homeowner's insurance is going to probably tell you to call your HOA insurance. And it's going to go back and forth, around and around, basically dragging people through the dirt until they eventually settle for a stupid low dollar amount. This is something that happens a lot in natural disasters. You're going to hear this. It's not covered. You didn't have fire coverage. The car was inside your house, so it's not covered. Like, I think that was the one I saw in Florida. If the guy's car was flooded on the street, it was covered. But because the car got flooded in his house, the car insurance denied his claim and told him he had to go to his homeowner's policy to get the coverage. But the coverage for his homeowner's policy was only $200,000 for not only all of his belongings, but everything in the house. So if he would have totaled out his 3 cars, I think it was over $300,000, he'd have no money left over to buy anything for his family, clothing, furniture, accessories, and stuff like that. And so this is what you're going to see unfolding for the next few months, if not years. And this is where the true, like I said, heartbreak is going to set in, because, watching these people online, lose everything, realizing, look, I paid my insurance, I paid off my house, I've been a good person, I'm going to get back on my feet. We're strong in this. You see the community pulling together, trying to help these people. And I guarantee you the insurance company is going to say no. Now, unfortunately, once they start doing this, there's going to be a lot of people out there, these attorneys are going to start chasing people to sue your insurance company. Now, my advice, deal with your insurance company first. Once you start litigation, you're going to push your window out 2 to 3 years. I see it every time there's a natural disaster. Don't do it. Try to work with them as much as you can, but if they're still dragging their feet and you have to get an attorney, I totally understand. But just remember, once you get an attorney involved, you're looking at a 1 to 3 year window, and on top of that, the attorney's going to want significant percentage of that claim money. So just keep that in mind. Now, the next chapter is what happens when the insurance companies do pay out. Well, that's great. You can build your new home, right? Wrong. Remember, California is one of the worst states when it comes to building codes. There were so many people from 2019 fire that are still waiting today to get permits approved and everything so they could start building on their property because of all their eco laws, whatever you want to call them. I know they have a bunch of terminologies for it, but basically it's all their government and eco-friendly terms that they don't want people to build in certain areas. And so all these mansions you've seen burned down in like Malibu and Palisades, I bet you a lot of those houses won't be rebuilt because they won't allow them to do that. So now that this is happening, you have other people, the bloodsuckers starting to come in. They're either going to come in, lowball you on your property like they did in Hawaii and Florida, or they're doing what they're doing right now. They're buying up all the properties around those areas that haven't been burnt out, and they're charging crazy rents because they know that if your insurance company pays, they will pay for you to rent a house for 1 to 2 years while your new house is being built. And so they're gaming on this to make sure they can increase rents. Not only that, you want to talk about cars. There's, thousands of cars. I haven't got the number yet, but I'm guessing it's probably over 100,000 cars that have been taken out from the fire, and also the bulldozers that had to clear the way from all the people leaving their cars on the side of the road. You're going to see a significant increase in car prices, vehicle renting prices, rent for your apartments or houses, and home prices. So just when we thought that everything was getting back to normal and the prices were going to go down, unfortunately, here we are. It's going to go right back to where it is. Now, I pray that hopefully once the new president comes in, they'll be able to put some stuff down where they can actually take care of these people and hopefully keep the vultures from bay, because every time there's a natural disaster, all these bloodsuckers come in acting like they're there to help just to screw people over. Now, I wish there was something I could do. All I could say is donate to a charity. Do not donate to the one that I can't remember that Gavin Newsom's doing. I guess it actually goes to their actual political party, and then they give a small percentage out to them. Find a reputable charity and give to them. If you have blankets, food, clothing, the Red Cross I know is taking stuff down there. If you want to give that to them, if you could help anybody, let them stay in your place, whatever. Do as much as you can for the people, because I know it absolutely sucks. And just for me, start calling your insurance companies. So after the floods and the fires in California, I actually got a letter from my insurance company telling me that they no longer cover me in flood instances. I have to buy additional flood insurance, which is crazy. I live in Las Vegas. I'm in the middle of the desert. There's no water here. So the fact that they're trying to offset their cost by making me pay extra for flood insurance in the middle of the desert is definitely an eye-opener. And I just recently got this last year. So I'm sure that there's going to be more things coming out there. You need to find out from your insurance agent what is exclusionary, what's not covered, what do you have to pay in addition to make sure that you're properly covered. I know insurance is not fun, it's not sexy, but it's something we all need to have, and you need to know how it works, because I'm telling you, over the next 6 months, you're going to see nothing but devastation and heartbreak from these people that we see online, because they're going to be told over and over again they didn't have adequate coverage. This is not covered. That's not covered. The variable rate's not covered. So like a lot of your property, they're going to give you used value, and they're going to give you basically next to nothing for your family belongings. So please know how your insurance company works. And if you got to raise your limits and it costs you a few extra bucks a month, it's definitely worth it. So anyways, once again, hearts and prayers to everybody out there. Also, Gavin Newsom and whatever that stupid mayor is, you guys are scumbags. I hope you guys get kicked out. And just like I said, please help out wherever you can. And we'll see you guys next time.